To another episode of What in the Ads is Going On. Today we are talking about when to cut your ads losses. Is it a loss? Is it a win? Based on just that result that Facebook is saying you're getting, should you be making a judgment call on that? How do you know? So welcome back to another episode. We're going to dig right into that. If you are catching this on the replay right now, I want you to drop into the comments that you're catching this on the replay. Right now, you may be seeing this either on Facebook, in a group, on YouTube, in many different places, depending on where you're tuning in from. So let me know where you're tuning in from. This broadcast is courtesy of Restream, which is what I'm using to be able to reach you in many different places. So without further ado, let's kick this party off. If you're here, drop a comment in. I would love to see you. Thank you, and let's go. There we go. Simple as that. Thank you, Peter. I love this so much. Thank you very much. See, this is the one challenge with using different presets. So I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so why don't I say all of that again? Let's rock on with it. So I am so glad that you are here. I'm so glad that you're here tuning in. This is going to be a little more of a casual roll with it show on the lines of what's working and what's not. There's Michael. Much better. It's like, yes, I'm not just a mime. I'm not just the pretty face on camera. I do have a voice. Sometimes I just don't use it when I'm supposed to. All right, so within this, we're going to talk a little bit, we're going to geek out on metrics. I'm going to be digging in a little bit deeper. I'm not going to go into Ads Manager. I'm not going to be showing the usual screen shares and all that fun stuff that I normally do, but I am going to just kind of hopefully peel back the curtain and show you some areas where even though you're spending money on ads, it might not be a total loss if you're not getting the result that you desire. So most of this broadcast is going to be focused on small business. So we're not talking about scaling. We're not talking about e-commerce and spending thousands of dollars and secrets to unlock scaling and where to dig in deep on massive campaigns. This is more geared toward the average business owner who is trying to make sense of a small conservative budget and not really knowing what to do on, how do I make it better? How do I know if this is working? How do I know if this ad is tanking? Do I turn it off? Do I cut my losses? Or where do I go from here? So to start off, let's just position this as in, actually the timing on this is completely ironic. So I've had this broadcast scheduled since last week. And just today, my friend Amanda Bond, who is also a complete Facebook ads genius, sent a video over to me. She has a video on YouTube that she just dropped on this exact same topic, talking about how basically when you're running Facebook ads, you're buying data, however you want to say it. You are not necessarily spending money to get a positive ROI right up front. You're spending money to earn data. So it's so funny that she dropped that, and I'll share a link on this video after so you guys can go and watch that one. But that really is ultimately the topic here is when to cut your losses. So if you... This is much more for me today. Awesome. Ooh, nice. So if you are spending money, if you're spending ad dollars on Facebook ads or on any online ads, we need to first manage those expectations. I think I should just make my tagline, the digital gal, managing expectations. Because ultimately that's all we're doing in this conversation is knowing that when you go out and you spend money on a campaign, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a $1 to $1 walking back through the door. or necessarily mean that you're going to get what all the ad gurus are preaching, a 10x ROAS, return on ad spend. You're not going to be soaking in a ton of money coming back in. Evie is in the house. Evie, I love it when you were on my live streams, girl. You just light me up and make me happy. You actually make me feel more at home when I see you on a live stream. So like big digital hug. There we go. Thank you. All right, so you're spending money. Of course, we're spending money to make money, but let's realign those expectations on what you're spending money on. So when you're first spending money on ads, you're not generally spending money on earning a customer right up front or right away, but you're playing the long game. You are buying data and you're building momentum. And then out of that momentum that you're building, that's where you can start implementing some strategy and making it make money for you down the road. But Facebook ads, again, aren't the be-all and end-all. It's not as easy. Evie, I love you, girl. Seriously, I'm just going to have to get you scheduled to be on every single one of my live streams because you light me up. Thank you. So when you're spending this money, it's not a loss. And I'm going to show you some reasons why. So I've got I have some overlays here for you. I'm going to pull them up. Let me just preview them here to get an idea of what we're looking at. So let's turn this one on. So we're going to be talking about quality of your ads. We're going to be talking about your impressions versus reach impressions and frequency, when frequency is too high. We're also going to be talking about your breakdowns. So different breakdowns, male versus female, what that split looks like for you, and is that helping you or hurting you? We're also going to be talking about the different types of breakdowns, and this may be changing with the updates with Apple iOS, but for now, we still have access to this information. Let's use it while we have it before we lose it. Sounds like a good idea. And then some further breakdowns that we can access and how to use that information, where that's going to come in handy. And then I think this is the last one that we're going to be talking about here, which is, yes, video content and video percentages of play. So I know it's a lot of data, however you want to say it. But trust me, this stuff is important. So if you're spending money on Facebook ads, you need to know this. If you're not spending money on Facebook ads, eventually you're probably going to want to. So you might want to know this anyway. Before we dig into all of those little things and work through one by one on what they mean and why they're important, how to understand that, and why it means anything to you at all, I want to give a massive, huge congratulations to Shannon. I don't know. I'm going to butcher this last name. I apologize, girl. Shannon Shannon. Shannon won the Digital Gal, last week's Digital Gal Kate Spade Digital Gal Pink purse. So she was the contest winner. Let me get that to focus here with my terrible nails. But guess what? But wait, there's more. As in, if you also want a shot at winning one of these, I do have more, and I'm giving away more. So if you want a shot at winning that, the deal is on how to get that. And if you're a guy, gal, it doesn't matter. There's somebody in your life who would really, really love to have a nice Kate Spade bag. The deal is go to thedigitalgal.com/contest and you can enter for a chance to win. What that does is signs you up for my email list so you know when these broadcasts are going live. So you know me, I like to give stuff away. I like to give nice things away. We also have the winner the 2 weeks prior of it was Daryl who won the what's it called? Portal, the Facebook portal. So we'll have another lineup of prizes coming after this next round, but there's another Kate Spade purse on the line. So if you're interested in any of that, if you want to know when these shows are going live, I do 2 live shows a week, this one and the video marketing show that happens on Thursdays. So make sure you sign up for that, thedigitalgal.com/contest. Enter your email address, sign up for that contest, sign up to get these emails, and then you can come and geek out with me all the time. All right, so let's dig in, shall we? I think it's a good idea. All right. Let's start with the quality. I'm going to scoot this way. I'm going to scoot this way. All right, so inside Ads Manager, when you run ads, if you're boosting a post, if you're running ads using Ads Manager, by the way, you really should start using Ads Manager. Get comfortable with it, get to know it. If you don't already know how to use it, you might want to join Swift Kick in the Ads so you can get the 4-week Facebook Ads Bootcamp where I teach you all of this from start to finish across 4 weeks of training. It's awesome sauce, and you learn all about this stuff. So if you're creating ads, whether you're boosting them or using them in creating them in Ads Manager, once you're in Ads Manager and you drill down all the way to the ad tab to look at your results, you will have your ad relevance diagnostics. What the heck are these? Well, it's kind of like a report card. And these are not the be all and end all of where to start and where to end, but this information here gives you an indication of how Facebook sees your ad and how Facebook sees that your ad is how people are responding. Your audience is responding to your ad. I can try and say that a little bit cleaner. This is your report card on how Facebook sees your ad and how your audience sees your ad. Whew! Okay, there we go. I got it. It took me a second. So your report card, it really goes below average, average, or above average. It's that simple. It used to be a rating of 1 to 10. Facebook would give your ad a score of 1 to 10. A 10 being like the best, awesome. A 1 being like, go back home, just turn the ad off, just stop it, cut your losses. At that point, a 1 would be stop. A 10 would be keep it going, keep spending money. In this case here, we now have the Ad Relevance Diagnostics. They've been out for, I think, a couple years now. And they are giving us our averages on how well people are responding. So let's break this down for a second here. Quality is the quality of your ad. So we're talking about the ad creative, the headline, the call to action, the video if you're using a video. How scroll stopping is that ad? If it's not scroll stopping and the quality of the actual assets of the ad itself are then you're likely to get a below average score. And if you do have a below average score and you have above average in the other categories, that's okay. That's literally okay. This again is showing us if we had above average across the board, you're probably getting the best cost for your ad that you possibly can for all the settings and who you're targeting and what you're using to as your incentive or what your call to action is. So if you had above average in all categories, you're doing the right thing, you're going in the right direction. Doesn't mean you can't still improve, but it means as far as Facebook is concerned and how competitive your audience is compared to other advertisers also serving content to that exact same audience, that you're doing well. So you have less concern. So that is the quality of your ad. Then we have how engaging is the ad? Are people liking, clicking, commenting, sharing? If they are, excellent. Then you'll have a high engagement rate on the ad. If they're not, then you'll have a low engagement rate and you'll get a lower score. And then you have your conversion. So what objective did you want? What's the purpose of that ad? What are you trying to get it to accomplish? Are you trying to get people to click to your website? Are you trying to get people to watch your video? Depending on what you're asking for, that's how people are going to convert. That's the result of the ad. Are you getting results out of that ad for what you're asking Facebook to achieve for you? And that's your conversion ranking. So in this case, if I were to jump into an ad account and take a quick just an initial jump in. Are these ads working? Are these ads not working? First thing I'm going to do is jump into your ad account, go to Ads Manager, click all the way through the tabs down to the ad level, and go and look for your Ad Relevance Diagnostic scores and take a quick overview. Now, a lot of people will say these scores mean nothing, and in all honesty, they're just the initial indicator on where to start. Is there a problem? Do we have a problem here? Do we not have a problem here? If you have scores that are all good to go, probably fine. Don't overthink it. If you jump in there and the scores are all below average, that means that you are probably trying to push dead weight with your budget. Meaning it's not working, it's not engaging, it's just not doing what it should be doing for you, and you're probably spending a lot of money on it, trying to hit the same people over and over again. So don't we need to look at the data on our objectives, results, as in conversion rate? So yes, we do. We need to look at all areas. But I think for the purpose of this, what a lot of people get stuck on is they just look at how many conversions did I get? They say, if you look in your results and you look at it and say, oh, I'm getting 100 conversions on that ad. Well, great. But is it great? Should that ad for that price actually be getting you 500 conversions and you're only getting 100? Or if it's video views, I was on a video call just recently. I'm gonna pull this down. Pull that down. I was on a video call yesterday and we were looking at the results, and the video views for a through play, which is a 15-second play, were coming in at 30 cents a 15-second play. And for that ad account, that was pretty normal. But compared to all the other ad accounts that I touch, most through plays 15-second video views are coming in around anywhere from 5 cents to 10 cents. So looking at that account where it's all of a sudden it's 30 cents per through play, that makes me go, whoa. But then then it becomes like a hunting game of like, all right, let's dig apart the rest of the data and find out, is this still high quality traffic? Is it making sense to keep spending that much? Or do we cut our ads losses and stop that one, find a different piece of video content and see if we can get some better results for that through play? So let's see, where did I have my video one? Let's go all the way to the video one. There's the video one. All right. So for example, in here, this is an example of when you slice and dice your data in different ways. If you're in Ads Manager and you have the performance drop down or the columns drop down, it's on the default performance setting. You can drop that down and you go to video engagement. And video engagement will give you some deeper metrics if you're running video campaigns. So video campaigns, let's just talk about this for a second. So this is showing results at how many people watched to 25% completion of that video, how many people made it through to 50% completion, 75%, 95%, and 100% completion. If we look at the drop-off, you've got 25%, there were 2,000 people in that first line. 2,000 people watched that video through to 25% completion. By the time we get to the end, 452 actually made it all the way to the end. In all honesty, those numbers are phenomenal. That's not typical. Normally what you're going to see is, and depends on the quality of your ad. How do we know if it's working or not working? If I saw this in an ad account, I'd say, yeah, it's looking pretty good. That's better than average. I'd be happy with that. If I had, 452 people watching to 100% of that video. Keep in mind, this is ranking a video that's over 15 seconds. It's easy to get people to 100% completion on a 15-second video. So I'd look at this and my initial reaction would be, that's doing really well. Now, where I'd be going, is this working or not, is if one of two things. If I saw on the high end, if I saw, okay, 2,000 people watched it to 25% and 1,900 people made it to 100%, I'd go, wait a second here. Wait. We got to talk about placements. Where are these videos showing up? Are these videos being forced played to people? So as in there are two different placements where your ads can show up where they're forced plays, essentially where people have to watch the video in order to continue on to whatever they were doing. One, for example, is in the audience network. So if you have the audience network placements where you have a bunch of apps on phones, tablets, on basically any kind of app that can have an ad displayed in the app, that's what your audience network is essentially. So for example, you might have grandma playing Scrabble. I shouldn't really say grandma because I play Scrabble online too. Anyway, you have somebody playing a game on their iPad or on their iPhone and they get served an ad, a video ad that they have to watch the first 5 seconds or even 15 seconds of that ad before they can continue on to the next level of their game. That would be an example of what I would call a forced video play. That's really going to inflate these numbers, the number of people making it all the way through to completion of your video. So when we're looking at, do we cut our ads losses? Is the ad working? Is it not? When you first go and look at these results, immediately you're going to be thinking, whoa, this is really working. People are loving this video. They're making it all the way through to the end. If I saw that in an ad account, my first reaction would be, let's go look at your placements, shall we? Let's go use your breakdowns. We're going to go look at placement. We're going to see where these ads are showing up. And if I see a video view objective and I see 100% delivery happening in the audience network and next to no delivery happening in the mobile news feed or in the desktop news feed or on Instagram or in any of these other placements that are available, then I would go, I don't think this is working for you ultimately. But again, it depends. It depends on what your objective is. If you're just trying to blast that video out, if you're trying to get a whole bunch of people to download your app, then having a bunch of video views in an app makes sense. The second area of forced video plays is typically inside the in-stream videos. Facebook has in-stream videos, meaning it's kind of like YouTube when you're watching a video and all of a sudden an ad interrupts the video partway through and you're forced to watch 5 seconds of it before you can skip the ad, or you're forced to watch 15 seconds of it. Facebook has in-stream videos. So if you're watching really popular content that's really engaging and you're just getting to this cliffhanger moment in that video, boom, ad. Your ad that is forcing people to watch 15 seconds or more of it, that can greatly inflate these numbers. Everything's mirrored on my end, so I'm trying to which way am I pointing? That can greatly inflate your people of reaching the percentage of completion. Why is any of this important? Why does it even matter? Well, if you're employing that strategy of using video views and then retargeting people based on how much of your videos they've watched, for example, you can retarget people who have watched 3 seconds or more of your videos. That's a very broad, very, very low key audience. Or you can retarget people who have watched 15 seconds or more of your video. Much more engaged. I know it still doesn't seem like a big number, 15 seconds, big whoop, but it actually is for attention spans on Facebook. It is a big deal. So, and it's a much deeper metric to target, and you probably have very few, fewer people that are hitting that. So if you are running ads, when to cut your losses, when to keep it running. If I were to jump into your video metrics and see your video views and see that 95% of people are making it to 100% watch time of the video, I go, let's go look at your placements. Let's go see if that's actually what you want and if it's actually serving you, if it's actually working for you. If not, we will cut that placement and we will either edit the ad, pull out that placement, rerun it, or just make adjustments on future campaigns with that knowledge. The opposite of that is if you have, say we had 2,000 video views at 25% and 3 of them made it to 100%. I do see a lot of that often in my own ads because I do ads for these videos, these live streams. So I'll go live for an hour and then I'll take that and I'll go and put ad spend behind it. It is going to be extremely rare for anybody seeing one of those as an ad to sit there and watch it from start to an hour finish. So it's very rare that I'm going to get somebody watch to 100% of any of those ads in particular. I know that going in, it's fine. It still helps my 3-second video view plays. We're good. But those are things that you're going to watch out for if you have video campaigns and you have tons and tons and tons and tons of views on the early on 3 seconds, 10-second mark, but those numbers drop off like a cliff as you go, then it might be worth the conversation of saying, am I just shoving video content at people that they really don't care about? Is it even worth me serving this ad to people? When do I cut my losses? Is it helping me? Is it hurting me? So that's on the video view side of things. And Lisa, looking at the data is so important. It really is. It really, really is. And I think these conversations that we're having right now, I think these are the conversations that most people just ignore. They're just like, I ran the ad, Facebook gave me a result, a number, did it work, did it not? I don't know. And then they move on, they keep repeating the same mistakes. So this is why we're picking it apart a little bit more. All right, so let's talk about other mistakes that I see inside ad accounts where I would say, let's cut your losses. Let's maybe change that campaign a little bit and maybe try something else. Frequency. There we go. Boop, boop. Frequency right there. Frequency is of the number of impressions. I should flip these columns around. But anyway, of the number of impressions that are being served to the number of eyeballs that are seeing them, that gives you your frequency. How frequently are people seeing that same ad? So in other words, let's look at this bottom example here. 9,000 people reached, 11,000 times, a frequency of 1.23. So each person in that audience that was served that ad was served that ad an average of 1.23 times. Is that okay? Super cool if you're reaching a brand new audience of people who don't know you, making that first impression. You're just kind of like popping in the room, being like, hey, everybody at the party, I'm Amanda. Okay, see ya. And you carry on to the next person. That's just popping in and reaching individual people. Now, if I keep popping into the same room being like, hey, it's Amanda again. Hey, I know you haven't moved and haven't gotten yourself a new drink yet, but I'm back again. Hey, it's Amanda for the 13th time today. You're probably going to get a little sick of me, right? So that's when we see your frequency, right there. That's when we see your frequency starting to climb. So that one up top there where I have 200 people reached 1,800 times. So it's 200 people reached, starting to climb up toward 2,000 times, is 7.77 frequency. So that means that ad, I'm shoving that ad in front of 200 people a whole lot of times, over 7 times each. Now, when is that okay and when is that not okay? I would take into account, well, what kind of objective are we running? Are we running an objective for video views? Even like video views. If I have the same video that I'm hammering the same 200 people with almost 2,000 times, that's a problem. That's probably a problem. That's maybe a good indicator that maybe it's time to cut our losses on that one and relook at the size of our audience. I often see that when you're retargeting very small audiences, when you're retargeting warm audiences. So for example, your website visitors. If you have under 1,000 website visitors and you're hammering them with too much budget, say I took $200 and went and ran an ad to website visitors and I have fewer than 1,000 of them, there's a high likelihood I'm going to exhaust that audience quickly with way too high of a frequency. I'm going to exhaust them. They're going to get sick and tired of my ad. They're going to click on hide ad or hide all ads. That's a big black mark on me as an advertiser, and it doesn't do any of us any good. So keep an eye on that frequency. And in that case, it doesn't make any sense. However, and it's so funny because Lisa's asking that question at the exact same time. How much impact will it have if they hide you because they see your ad too much? Massive impact. So let's pretend we're playing an algorithm game here, and it's like a point system. So for all the good things, the positive comments and the likes and the reactions, the interactions and the clicks that you're getting, those are positive points that you want from Facebook. If you have somebody clicking on hide ad or hide all ads, it's like a giant slap on the wrist, and Facebook is like taking all your points away. And then you have to rebuild it back up again. So it's a big black mark as far as the algorithm is concerned if people are hiding your ads, because that's an indicator that you don't have your targeting on point, or you're serving content they don't want to see. Facebook really wants to keep people on their platform and enjoying it, and getting ads in front of people, especially in the mobile newsfeed, is insanely competitive. It costs you money, and it's very hard to reach there because you are competing with family and friends and other advertisers that might have more highly relevant content to that person. So you're in high competition. So if you get the privilege of showing up in their newsfeed, especially that mobile newsfeed, and you are serving them an ad over and over and they don't want to see it, and someone clicks on hide ads or hide all ads, Facebook is basically saying, oh, thank you to our users for letting us know this is low quality content. We're going to abruptly stop that. We're going to jack your ad costs for the rest of you trying to be served with this ad. And good luck trying again as an advertiser. Your ad costs might keep creeping high if that keeps happening. So that's not what we want. Peter, I love this. I'm really glad that you're enjoying this because I like geeking out on this. Sometimes I think I go a little overboard on the geeking, but I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And the replay will be available immediately after we're done here. Oh, breathe. I sometimes talk a lot and forget to breathe. So frequency, but when is that frequency okay? When to cut your losses and when not? So if I see a frequency of 7 on 200 people reached, first thing I'm going to do is go and say, oh, well, what objective were you using? And if you're using a lead form, for example, you want somebody to fill out a lead form, lead forms are going to take, Lisa, this is awesome. I'm a geek too. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying this. So when frequency is okay, if you have, say, for example, lead ads, where you are serving an ad that is literally asking people to give you their data. You want their information. You want their name, their email address, perhaps a phone number, perhaps you have another question in there in that lead form. You are asking for valuable data through Facebook. Facebook is like, oh, wait, you want to reach our users and take data directly from them and it's very valuable to you? Cool. We're going to charge you a lot of money for it. But sometimes in order to get people to actually take action on that, it's a little bit of a repeat there. If you want people to take action on that ad, in that case, because it's a higher level of an ask, you're not just asking people to watch a video. You're not just asking people to engage with the post. You're not just asking them to click on a website. You're asking them to hand over their data. And they know they're going to get an email from you. They know they're going to get a phone call from you. They know they're going to get spammed by you. But if you're hitting the right audience at the right time, and they literally are the right people that are your hot audience that are ready for the offers, then yeah, sometimes it takes getting in front of them 7 times before they actually fill out that lead form. So take it with a grain of salt, but if you're seeing your frequency shoot up, if you're seeing your frequency climb and your ad costs climb at the same time, and you see that you're reaching the same people over and over and over, that would be a really great time to have that conversation to say, wait a second, is it time to cut our losses on that ad? Should we maybe stop and dig deeper and find out what are we doing? Where is this ad being served? Is it serving us? So let's pull up another screenshot here. Did I already show? Yeah, we talked about that one. We just did that one. Let's talk about this one. So we might see our ad costs shooting up. We might see a hide ad or hide all ads. We might see frequency hitting too high. The other thing we might see is when we go into our breakdowns. Actually, let me show you what those breakdown menus look like before. Yeah, I'll just pull it up together. We got lots going on here, but that's fine. Okay, I got this pointer. So if we're looking at this one right here, let me pull this right on this side, right? This one right here, placement. So if we're looking at placement, then wait, this one's not referencing placement. But anyway, placement is the first go-to that I always look for to see if it's heavy delivering in the audience network, like we talked about with those video views. In this case, this one is gender, which is up here, right there, gender. So if I use that gender breakdown in my menus, that's where I can see my campaigns broken out by gender. So I can see male, female, and uncategorized. Now, this is a really cool, I mean, this seems so simple, right? This stuff seems so simple. Oh yeah, look at the gender of who your ads are delivering to. And then look at your business and say, does that align with my business? In this case, this is one that I ran, can't remember when I ran that. And you can tell it's a boosted post, by the way, because it says the word post. Let me pull down this. Let's pull, nope. Yep. You can a dead giveaway is a boosted post. This whole mirrored screen thing is really throwing me off today. If it says post and then in quotations, and then it starts using the text of the post, that's a boosted post. So I can, those are a dead giveaway. When I jump into your ads manager and I see post, quotes, blah, 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 I'm like, you've been boosting posts, which is perfectly okay when you're just starting out. But if you're spending more than, I'd say like more than $200 a month and it's all in boosted posts and that's all you're doing, I'm coming for you. I am coming for you. I am going to teach you how to do Facebook ads using Ads Manager. So help me. Anyhow, I'll get off that soapbox, leave that over there, coming back over here. So age and gender, or sorry, gender in this case. So this is a boosted post and it's looking at the gender. In this case, that's really heavy delivering. 3,000 impressions have been given to the male population and 600 have been shown to females. Well, this is a post from me. And in my case, I do business equally 50-50 male versus female. If I ran these ads blindly and I just looked at my initial results going, oh, I reached 3,600 people and I had so many great results and I'm very happy with the results that Facebook is telling me, and I didn't dig in any deeper, then what I would be doing is I would be flooding and poisoning, not poisoning, it's a terrible word. This is nothing against males, literally. It's just, I would be flooding my audience, my audiences, as far as my audiences that I can retarget, I'd be flooding them with males and not having very many females in there. I do business with a 50-50 split. So if I were to not pay attention to these ads and continue to let them heavy deliver to males, and then get all of the interactions and clicks and everything coming through mail, and then retarget those people and just continue to saturate my funnel and retarget the same people over and over and over, well, all I've done is dumped a whole lot of money onto Facebook's doorstep and reached 100, like an entire audience of people that are not necessarily my ideal fit. So I've seen this with other brands as well, where they run ads, and if you're under the constraints of the special ad category, I'm sorry, you can't change the age and you can't change the gender. The special ad category strips out that ability because it prevents you from being able to discriminate against any group based on personal attributes. So real estate or real estate, credit and loans, jobs, you can't discriminate. But where that does get you occasionally is when we see age. For example, I'm working with different real estate agents, and if we have the majority of their population, if we have a real estate agent, for example, that is selling second home, like vacation properties, and ideally they really are benefiting from having those ads shown in front of people who are 50 plus, that's great. But if all of a sudden we dig in and find out that our ads have been serving to 18 to 24-year-olds, and we have, thousands of impressions to 18 to 24-year-olds and only, 100 impressions going to 60 or 50 plus, then we know we have a balance problem within that ad. How do we fix it? Do we just let it keep running? No. In this case, do I let it keep running? No. I'm going to stop that ad. I'm going to change it because the algorithm has already latched on to the male, in this case, males being lower cost, higher value as far as how Facebook's algorithm sees who we're getting results from. So the algorithm is going to keep pushing it to where it's getting the lowest cost result for you. So sometimes, yes, you might be getting the lowest cost result. But if you dig in deeper, you might be realizing, wait a second, this does not align with my business goals. And I'm just flooding my audiences and flooding my clicks with people who really are not the right fit. Same with the age. If we look back at that real estate example, all of the people who are being shown that ad, if they're 18 to 24 years old, they are not the people buying multi-million-dollar second home mansions. It's not the right fit. How do we fix it? Change your ad creative. That's it. I know it sounds like a no-brainer, but think about it. If you are selling something that is skewed toward an older demographic, but in your imagery and in all of your ad creative, you have young people in it, then it's going to attract, your ads are going to attract what you're reflecting. So the ad creative matters. And if the ad creative has a vibe to it, say you have a really, and this has just also happened recently with another client, where we had an ad that ran, it had a really neat vibe to it. It seemed like it was a really cool fit, but ultimately the demographics of who purchases skews much older, and it wasn't resonating. So these are the types of things, by digging in just a little bit deeper. And Lisa is asking, okay, sidebar ask, what program are you using that allows you to pull in the screens like that? It's the geek in me. So what you mean by that is when I'm going through and pulling in like this one, and let's go with that one. This is in, what else do I have on here? Let's turn that one off. Let's turn that one off too. I'm using Ecamm. So I broadcast out of two different programs. One of them is Ecamm Live, which is what I'm in right now. And I have a link that I can drop for you after the fact. So you can check this out for yourself. And if you're just starting out with broadcasting or trying to go live and do some really cool things and bring in different overlays, and you get a little intimidated with tech, Lisa, you'd be fine here in Ecamm for sure. But if you're brand new and you still want to dive in and do some cooler things with your live streams, Restream, and this broadcast here is sponsored by Restream. Restream has their own studio, and it is so easy. So I give examples on my Wednesday shows, I use Ecamm. On my Thursday shows, I use Restream. And I have an episode that went 2 weeks ago where I actually show you the whole back end of the Restream studio and all the really cool things you can do to really easily make nice overlays, make it look really pretty, really professional, very simple. And I literally walk you through step by step on how to do it. So that's thank you, Lisa, for that question. We've got a couple more metrics to pop through, and thank you, Jeremy Garcia, for giving a shout out to Team Hazel. And all right, so I have a couple more. So we talked about that one. We just talked a lot about that one. Let's talk a little bit more about this one. So breakdowns, again, this comes with a warning on it that I'm not sure that breakdowns are going to be available that much longer in their current form, because when Apple rolls out their iOS 14 updates, we are going to be losing a lot of visibility to some of the data that we have our fingertips on right now as Facebook advertisers. So use it before you lose it. Go back and analyze your campaigns with what you got now. And these are some of the options on what you can do to break it down. So some of the, if you're taking notes, this is the time to take a note and understand which ones. By the way, when you're in Ads Manager, where you find this is, if you're in Ads Manager, on the right-hand side, there's some buttons. You'll see 3 buttons. One is a columns, one is breakdowns, one is reports. Where you find this is that middle one, that breakdowns button. So this is, so age and gender, I like to break them down separately, but age and gender are a really good way to kind of analyze your data to see, are you hitting the right mark for who you do business with? And like I said before, if you're hitting the wrong age, the wrong gender, then have a look at your creative and really understand, is the creative that I'm putting out there inside that ad, is it actually resonating with the people I'm trying to attract? Your numbers might tell you otherwise. Then we have the other one is region. So if you are, say, for example, you're serving ads to all of the United States, you want to know which state you're delivering to. So for another example, working with a client right now, and we're targeting areas along the west coast of US. So we want to know, are we getting more people from California? Are we getting more people from Washington? Are we getting more people from Oregon? So we can break down the data. Region is going to be a great way to get down to like state level. Same with provinces. If you're in Canada, that's where you'll find your provinces. So region is a nice little breakdown for that. Let's go down to placement is the other one. Placement is definitely what you want to look at. Placement is when you go to place your ads, when you go to create an ad, if you are leaving it on automatic placements and letting Facebook decide where those ads are going to show up, there's a lot of ad inventory, a lot of places your ads can actually show up. Think about placement as in where are the places your ad can show up. So if that ad can show up on Instagram, on Instagram stories, Instagram feed, those are two different placements. Facebook, it can show up on we've got Pressy here. Pressy's here. You're getting me excited, girl. I know I give you shout outs to your TikTok every time you're here, but I really do love what you're doing on TikTok. And I love your energy. I love your social media and digital marketing confidence, like huge. I just want to like soak up that energy from you. So I'm glad you're here. So placements, Facebook, you might have the mobile news feed, which is like the holy grail of placements. That's where the majority of action takes place on Facebook ads. Whether you think it does, whether you think it doesn't, the mobile newsfeed is where it's at. When I say mobile newsfeed, mobile phone, open the Facebook app, scroll. That's your mobile newsfeed. So if your ads are showing up there, that's where all the action's taking place. That's where the party's at, but that's also a very expensive placement. But it's a very, very valuable one to you. If your ads are showing up in the audience network, again, that's a whole series of apps. So if I'm not in the Facebook app playing around in the mobile newsfeed there, but I'm actually in that Scrabble game that I'm playing and your ad is showing up inside that Scrabble game, that's an example of your ad showing inside of an app in the audience network. Not quite as high value from what I've found for small businesses. And then other placements, you might have the right column. So if you're on desktop and you have on the right, this is my right, that's your right on screen. On the right column way up there, you might have some small little advertisements. You can also see advertisements showing in Facebook Marketplace. People are thinking, oh, it's not a great placement. Well, technically, depending on what you're selling, if you're selling physical items, Marketplace shows those ads bucketed into the relevant category, and they look like a native ad they don't look like an ad. They look like an item for sale, and they can be very effective. So and there's instant article. There's so many placements. Guys, there are so many placements. But placements are where one of the top areas, and again, that's this in your breakdowns menu, this guy right here, placements. That is one of the biggest money pits of where your ad dollars can be getting sucked up into the places that are not performing well for you. So how do we know? And I'm about to drop like the ultra geek knowledge here, but you can, if you really, really wanted to drill down really hardcore on your ads, you could combo your ads. When you do an ad and you have a click to any external source to your website, for example, you can add Google UTM tracking onto that link. And you could technically run ads where you isolate them. I'm going to run an ad campaign. I'm just going to run this ad set to the Facebook mobile newsfeed placement. I'm going to run this other one over here. I'm going to run it to Instagram placement. I'm going to run this other ad over here. I'm going to run it to Marketplace placement. And you can isolate different ones, put a different tracking code on it, UTM tracking code, and then you can analyze exactly the quality of the traffic that's coming through from those different placements. You don't have to do this all the time, but it's kind of like a little sample check. And again, what I'm saying right now in the last like 15 seconds here, this is ultra geek. This isn't what everybody needs to be doing. But if you really want to geek out and drill down to that level, UTM tracking codes will help you see the quality of the traffic that you're getting from each of those different placements. This is a great question that Pressy's asking. So question, automatic or manual placements? When you first start out, I'm going to pull this. Where's my overlay? This one down. Never thought to analyze by placement. Automatic or manual placements. If you leave it on automatic, Facebook decides where they're going to put those ads. And when you're first starting out, it can actually be really beneficial to just run it on automatic and just see where, and Facebook is really heavily pushing automatic placements right now. As in they are, they're giving you like these little pop-up boxes and not warnings, but like encouragements saying, hey, It's when you go to use manual, they're like, hey, you might get better results if you use automatic placement and let us put it where we want to. And in the most part, okay, sure, Facebook, I'll trust you a little bit. Go for it. When you're first starting out, leave it on automatic. See what Facebook is giving you. Go and look at the results on that first campaign and check it out. And if you notice that you're getting any of those placements that don't seem to be serving you really well, for example, if it's a video view campaign and it's 100% in-stream videos and forced video plays and you're getting no tangible results out of it, then you're just getting inflated results that make Facebook feel happy and it's not really giving you what you want. So that's a case where, okay, I tried automatic placements to start, but maybe the next time I go and run a new iteration of that campaign, I'm going to go into manual placements and I'm just going to pull out that one I didn't like. So I might just go pull out Audience Network and pull out in-stream video, but let all the other ones run as they are. So you can basically keep it wide open to start, and it's a system of elimination when it comes to placements. So I'd rather keep it broad at the beginning and then start to narrow it down based on where you're finding it's working versus not, instead of the other way around where you just go super narrow and you're like, oh, Amanda said the holy grail of placements was the mobile newsfeed. I'm only going to put it on the mobile newsfeed. I'm like, good luck with that. Watch your ad costs spike and watch your quality look like this. It's a game. It is, I mean, it's not a great game. You're playing an algorithm game and you're playing a game where you need to make Facebook happy. Facebook needs to make their people happy and their advertisers happy. So we need to find a balance. Everything about your Facebook ads is a trade-off. None of them are a hit it out of the park, complete win where you have everything is going to be above average and you're just making fistfuls of money and everything is just perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. You're always going to have some trade-off in one area or another. And the whole purpose and the whole point is to incrementally just pay attention to the numbers, pay attention to the results, dig a little bit deeper to decide where you need to cut your losses. Whereas Facebook might be saying on one hand, you're getting great results. And you might be looking a little bit deeper under the hood and saying, oh, you're telling me I'm getting great results, but those results you're giving me, for example, if I have let's go, is it this one? Yes. I'm like, Facebook, you're telling me I'm getting great results. But when I actually look at the numbers and realize, but wait a second, let's pretend this was a spa or a nail spa. I'm like, you're telling me I'm getting great results, but everyone, it's a bunch of males interacting with it because they like how pretty the girl was in the photo. Whereas I'm trying to attract females because they're the ones that need to come in and get their nails done. So Facebook might be saying one thing, but if you dig a little bit deeper, you might be seeing something else. And that's where the power of Facebook ads comes in. That's where this conversation wraps back to the beginning, where when you first start running ads, you are not really paying for results at the beginning. You're paying for data. You're paying for access to that data. And when you get that data in your hands, then you can start making some better educated strategic decisions with how you want to spend future ad dollars and collect additional data going forward. So it's everything comes with a big trade-off. Michael, bingo. Yeah, I feel like we're having like these breakthrough moments. I feel like, yes, like Facebook ads are making sense. And I know how difficult this is in small biz when I'm sitting here saying, yeah, look at this, and you look at this, and then we look at this, and it makes a ton of sense right now. But then you're going to go after this, and you're going to go, okay, you dive into your ad account, and you're like, where do I even look? Where do I even begin? Where do I even start? and that's what I teach you in week 4 of the 4-week Facebook Ads Bootcamp, which is part of the Swift Kick in the Ads membership. So if you become a member, you get the bootcamp. Next bootcamp kicks off in May. And that's where I teach you. Week 4, we go into reporting and analyzing. So learning how to do all of this, where to actually look inside Ads Manager, where to click, where to go, how to read these reports and how to make sense of it. Pressy is saying, I did more automatic placements too when I was just starting out, but later I realized I should be doing more manual placements based on how I'm better understanding the behavior of my customers. Textbook, like that, like, yes, everybody, like, be like Pressy, do that. That is a really, really common experience, and that is a very good way to go, because letting Facebook decide where it's going to go at the beginning, keep everything wide open, and then start to systematically narrow in on where you're getting more results. The problem is so many people don't dig further and rely on what Facebook suggests. Yes, and I do want to, I want to say Facebook isn't trying to do you dirty here. They're not trying to bait and switch. They're not trying to give you inflated results and confuse you. They really do want to get you results. They really do want to keep you as an advertiser happy and spending money, and they really do want to keep the users on their platform happy and returning and spending more time there. They want the win-win. But where the disconnect tends to happen is that Facebook's ads manager, it is quite powerful. It can be actually, it used to be called Power Editor, just for context there. It used to be called Power Editor, and it is a powerful tool for doing your ads. But there are a lot of choices and a lot of different places where you can optimize, a lot of different combinations of things that you can do that are going to influence the impact of your results. So Facebook can only go so far. For example, if you're creating an audience of people, and then you check the little checkbox that says expand my audience, use expanded audience. You're giving Facebook a parameter of like, I want you to go and target these particular people. But then if you go and check off that checkbox, it's like, okay, take these people. And then Facebook, you go find some other people too. That it might have something to do with this, might not. So you're taking your really focused audience. You're like, oh, let's just check off this little checkbox that Facebook makes really prominent. You're like, sure, expand my audience. And your targeting all goes to crap, and it's diluted, and it's not very good. And your ad experience or your ad costs go up, your results go down. And you're like, what happened, Facebook? Why don't you have my back? But it's just a matter of understanding what these tools are, when to use them, when not. So Facebook wants to get you those results. But if you're in there choosing settings that you don't quite fully understand or grasp the impact of, you might be saying, Facebook, go get me great results. Oh, but you know what? Let's just throw our targeting out the window. I don't really care anymore. And then you get mad at Facebook when you don't get the results you're asking for. So that's where it can get a little bit overwhelming. And Lisa, that's right. Totally forgot it was Power Editor. Wait, we're dating ourselves right now, aren't we? Like, we're back in my day. Back in my day, Facebook was called Power Editor. Anyway, and again, not to overwhelm you as a business owner. If you're consuming all this information, you're going like, whoa, this is okay, way above my pay grade, way over my head. No, I assure you it's not. And this is just one little piece, and you don't start with this piece. You start with just running ads. You just get in there. If you're boosting posts, that's fine. At least you're starting somewhere. If you've been boosting posts for a long time, you're quite comfortable with it, and you're just ignoring Ads Manager, then like I said earlier, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna have all my ads all up in your business, encouraging you to get into the boot camp so you can learn how to do this for yourself. But you master one step at a time. Step one is you're going to learn. This is Prezi. This is great. Yes, you are doing the right thing. But you're going to walk before you run. You're going to learn just how to use the tool itself. How does Ads Manager work? How do I use it? How do I make good decisions with it? Okay, that's your first job. Don't worry about everything I showed you today. That's your first job. Once you get comfortable with it, where you kind of get to the point where you're like, oh, that was a lot easier than I thought it was. It makes sense now. Then you're ready for, okay, what's next? When you find your brain going into the what's next, then you add on another component. Then we go, okay, let's look at your audiences and targeting. Who are you targeting? Can we do some more strategic targeting? Can we make you some better custom audiences? What are those? We dig into those. And then once you start to master who you're targeting, okay, great. Now you know how to move those levers. You know how to use the tools. You know how to impact those levers on who you're reaching. Then we move on to the next question, which is going to be, how much do I need to be spending on these things? And what's my strategy around it? Am I just throwing money at Facebook? Am I not? So you start implementing a strategy based on how much money you have to play with. And those things are, what's the word? They're tied together. Like if you have tons of budget to play with, you can have a very robust strategy. If you have a very conservative budget, you need a more direct, streamlined strategy that doesn't have all the bells and whistles and isn't doing what everybody else is doing. So we need to match those two things together. Once you get to the point where you understand that correlation and you master that point, that's when digging into all these results like we talked about today make a whole lot more sense. And I'm hoping that even if you're not running your own ads at this point and you're not doing it at this level, my hope for you is that you see what's possible out of these conversations, that the results that Facebook is showing you, don't take them at face value. You can't really make a good conclusive decision on, are my ads working? Are they not? Do I cut my losses here? Is this a full loss? No, it's not a loss. All that money you're spending, you're actually spending it on growing your audience impact. You're growing your audience size. You're growing the quality of those audiences. You're building an audience of people that you can retarget with your ads for a future date. You are earning that attention span. You're paying for the data. You are paying for the attention span. You're earning it. And then you can use that again at a later date. It's kind of like collecting points that you can cash in later. So when you're spending that money and you feel like you're not getting the results that you wanted, we're going to manage those expectations, and we're going to look at it from the standpoint of when you're first starting out, you're buying data, and then as you get more comfortable with all those different stages of learning how to use all of this, then it becomes a real power that you can use. And then Lisa saying, but as you're showing, Facebook is looking to find ways to make it easier. But Amanda, the digital gal, is the bomb to help you navigate ads and make sense of it. With her help, you can do this. Thank you, Amanda, for all you have done to help me. Oh, Lisa, thank you. You've been in this for the long haul. You've been around, you were in the early days of the boot camp. The last little pieces I want to show, I already showed that. This last little one that I didn't talk about here. You can also analyze... if you're using different variations of calls to action or different variations of text. And you'll notice if you go to create an ad using Ads Manager, you have the option to write up to 5 different variations of text and up to 5 different headlines and use different call to actions. If you want to understand, or if you're using different images, this is also in the breakdowns menu. You can also break down your information that way and see, okay, what headline's working best for me? And then in future ads, you can go in that direction. One of the other tips that I'll drop before we wrap up shortly here, one of the other tips I'll drop is when you're writing ad copy, make it about them, not about you. So for example, when I run ads for clients and they're using the language, I will do this for you. I can provide this. We are the best. We have helped thousands of people. We, us, me, I. That's all that's all about you. That's not about them. Make it about them. You can benefit from this. This is going to help you because. So it's providing context as to how it's benefiting them. And when we take those, if we run the same type of content, just position different. One position with I, we, us, and one position with you. And then we run it the headline, if we run, or the text, if we break it down and see which one's performing, you can really start to understand how you've positioned the ad, which headline, which text combination is working best for you. So that's another level of breakdown you can get into. I have notes here that I wrote. I have notes on a sticky that I wrote down for this. And I mean, I could talk for days on this. I'm not going to. But just knowing that, you're growing your audiences, talking about your frequency, skewing your source audiences, male versus female, placements, sucking your budget and your results. There's so much in there. You don't have to know it all, but just knowing it's possible and knowing that when we hit that wall of, can Facebook ads work for me? The answer is yes. It's yes if you can manage your expectations of what your ads are trying to achieve. And yes, if you give it the budget and the time to actually use that data, to collect enough data so you can crunch that data in different ways and make better business decisions moving forward with your ads. So yes, Facebook ads can work for you. Can they work overnight? Typically no. Especially if you're a small business, no, it's going to take time, and that's okay. So managing those expectations is the big, big, big part. All right, folks, I've been talking a lot here. Contest you need to enter. You need to win the next purse, the next Kate Spade purse. Again, big congratulations to Shannon. I cannot pronounce her last name. I'm so sorry. I need to work better on that. But it was announced in the email blast that went out this morning. Shannon is the winner of the Kate Spade purse. I have another one that I am giving away as well. So if you want a chance to win one of these Digital Gal Kate Spade pink purses, you go to thedigitalgal.com/contest. And that will that's where you're going to enter your email. You're going to get signed up for the email list to understand when these live streams are happening, what the topics are, so you can keep geeking out with me. And I also want to give a giant shout out to Restream. Pressy, you definitely want that. Definitely. And I want to give a giant shout out to Restream. And there's a comment that Lisa had up here earlier. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Wasn't sure if it was Restream. I'm on PC, so can't use Ecamm. The program I'm using right now for this is Ecamm. I'm actually broadcasting using Restream. So that's the other cool thing. Restream and Ecamm, they talk to each other. I am using Restream to schedule this. So this broadcast is taking place on YouTube, on Facebook, in Facebook groups simultaneously. That is thanks to the power of Restream. And if you want a very, very easy broadcast studio that you can use on Mac or PC, incredibly user-friendly, then you're going to go over to thedigitalgal.com/Restream, Restream, thedigitalgal.com/Restream. Sign up for a free trial. Or it's not even a free trial, sorry. They have a free account and they have a paid account. The free account comes with basic tools. You can get comfortable in the studio, see how easy it is to use. So thedigitalgal.com/Restream, sign up, dig in, get your hands dirty in the studio, see what it looks like. It's so easy. And then if you really want to geek out on a higher level or a deeper level or go like way overboard, Ecamm for Mac is an extremely powerful tool, and that's what I'm on with this. So I'm broadcasting using Restream. I'm using the tool Ecamm to do all the things that I'm doing with this, with my green screen, with my overlays, with this, in this particular broadcast. But I highly encourage you to check them both out. Let me see any other comments coming through. I think we're good. Guys. This has been a fun one. Thank you for letting me geek out to the level that I like to geek out on with, and that's why I call this show What in the Ads is Going On. We can go anywhere in this show, from talking about breaking news when it comes to advertising. We can talk Facebook ads. We can talk Google ads. We can talk any digital ads. I am a Facebook ads expert. It's weird saying the word expert. I'm a Facebook ads geek. I'm a professional Facebook ads geek. That should be my title. And I love it. So I talk a lot of Facebook ads, but it is the What in the Ads is Going On. We talk about a whole bunch of things in this show. Thank you, Lisa. And then in tomorrow's show, it's the video marketing show, also sponsored by Restream. And that one's broadcasted entirely out of the Restream studio. So you get to see the full magic and glory of that show go down. And that's where I talk all about video and video marketing. Sherry Nelson has been in the house. You've been hanging here the whole time, girl. Thank you. It's good to see you. And Michael, see, I told you, points if you make me laugh. You are an expert. Yay. Thank you. It's taken me a while to wrap my head around this. Pressy. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to close this out here with the outro. And oh man, guys, thank goodness this is recording. I'm probably just going to take a whole screenshot of this. This is going to be my promo for the next Swift Kick in the Ads. So sign up at swiftkickinttheads.com for the next round, because all these people are telling you that you've got an expert on your hands. So thank you, everybody, so much. I am Amanda Robinson. I am the Digital Gal. This is What in the Ads is Going On. Happens every single Wednesday. This show is sponsored by Restream. If you haven't had the chance to go check them out, do it. They are the ones that are connecting you as a live broadcaster, whether you're a small business, big business, doesn't matter. They're connecting you with being able to multi-stream on multiple different channels so you can reach more people like Michael, Sherry, Lisa, Pressy, and everybody else who joined us today on today's broadcast. Thank you, everybody, and let's sign this one off. Ciao, everybody, and